Hi, Amber. How are you?
I am doing well, Ellie. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on and sharing something that I think is incredibly important with my
Mhm.
audience, which is breathing.
Yes, it's important for all of us, right?
It's so funny. I asked you to be on because I was experiencing not only my own overwhelm and anxiety in myself, but I was also
Mhm,
seeing it in my coaching clients who are
mhm.
leaders across the United States. And you and I have worked together. Well, we've known each other for over a decade, but we've worked with each other where I brought you into some of my corporate workshops, and you've
Mhm.
started us off with like breath and just mindfulness.
Right.
And since I'm a mindset coach, it just really, really works well when you and I work together. So it occurred to me that in today's time of uncertainty and crisis, that your expertise and experience is super needed right now.
Mm.
So I also asked you on because, as I mentioned to you before, I have experienced burnout in the past. And one of the things I realized during this major awareness of how unhealthy I was being, um, after leaving work essentially for 3 months on a 3-month sabbatical to heal, is I didn't know how to breathe. And
Right.
what I find is with a lot of high achievers, these are type A. We run fast, we set goals, blow by them, on to the next. We don't breathe full breaths. It is
Right.
still very shallow, very just upper chest. And for me, I had forgotten how to take belly breaths. And when I was practicing taking a belly breath, because of course, like I was getting back into yoga after this extreme time of fatigue and
Mm.
malaise, really, like it was very uncomfortable for me even to take belly breaths.
Right.
Then I started learning some breathing techniques, and I like instantly felt my overwhelm and anxiety come down. So I know that what you teach personally has benefited me so, so greatly. So again, thank you. Do you mind sharing a little bit about you and what you're doing right now before you lead us into some breath work?
Yeah, absolutely. My work has been in the world of yoga and mindfulness and meditation for 12 plus years. And in not only did I start a yoga school in that time, but I've been able to then go into our public schools with this work of teaching kids how to slow down and focus and breathe. So the Mindful Classrooms project is something that I've been able to bring to the world through this work. But right now, you can just find me offering opportunities like this one-on-one or in group settings through amberkilpatrick.com.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. And I know that I've brought
Yeah.
you, like, we both live in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And so I have
Mhm.
brought you into my house and worked with my 5-year-old who was experiencing some anxiety and just not quite sure what to do with it. And it was it helped him enormously. So thank you so much for
Yeah,
the work that you do.
of
So,
course.
how do you want to start? I'm going to turn it kind of over to you.
Yeah. Well, sort of to your point a moment ago around, we just kind of forget how to breathe sometimes, or we're breathing. Of course, our body's going to do it for us, but we're breathing in a way that's shallow and caught up here instead of feeling it into the fullness of our lungs. And I think I would just like to start there and offer you to do this with me, but of course, offering it up to anyone listening that we'll just take a couple of deep breaths and notice where that is happening in our bodies. So if you'll find a position where you can just sit nice and tall, and you're welcome to keep your eyes open or closed. If they are open, though, just keep them fixed on a single spot and breathe. Breathe and try to quiet your body so much that you can actually feel where your breath is moving. And if you're not quite able to find that spot yet, you can bring a hand to the center of your chest and then try to fill that area with breath. So feel almost like helium is lifting and lowering underneath your hand. And then another area to try, and I'm going to move my camera down a little bit as I do this, is that you could bring your hands or a hand to the side of your ribs.
Like basically for women, bra level.
Yeah, bra level. And then breathe so much that you feel that rib move, or those ribs move as you're inhaling and exhaling. Because it's easy, and as you were saying, Ellie, when you're overwhelmed or you're a high achiever and you've got a lot on your plate, it does help us to breathe, because, or we're breathing more quickly rather, and that helps us to kind of move quickly too, but in a way that's a detriment to our well-being overall. And so we need to find opportunities to breathe in this way that is more full and expansive, so that we're bringing our brain state more into that ease and relax instead of stress and fight or flight. So what we just did here is a very quick way to literally feel the breath within us, so that we can kind of slow down enough to make that breath bigger and more soothing instead of fast paced. So I guess I would ask you, I know we just did it for a couple of seconds, but how did it feel?
It felt relaxing. So
Yeah.
what happens if you can't get like you can't feel your breath
Mhm.
as fully? Like what techniques do you have there?
Yeah, well, practice, quite honestly. If you're placing your hand on your ribs, or even if your hand was on your belly, and you weren't able to get that area to respond or to move, more practice, more time with it. If I can offer this, when I teach to children, often children will have a stuffed animal that they love, or some sort of friend that they like to have with them. And if you lay that stuffed animal on your belly while you're lying down, and then just try to lift and lower the stuffed animal while you're on the floor, that is a great way to start moving breath deeper and deeper into your body. So for adults, if you no longer have stuffed animals to play with, maybe a pillow or something lightweight to lay upon your belly.
So Amber, how important is that exhale? Like I can understand that
Mhm.
the inhale, but what about
Mhm.
the exhale?
Yeah, great question. So the inhale actually is teaching our body how to handle stress. So that inhale is actually turning on some receptors within our brain that say, oh, this is kind of stressful. And so the exhale is super important. The exhale is the rest and digest response. So we're filling up, we're filling up, we're filling up, we're stressing a little bit, and then with that exhale, we can let it all go. So the longer the exhale, the more we've taught our body how to slow down and calm down.
So good. I know that I never knew that. And so my breath where I was like, why isn't this working? And I was just never getting a very like long exhale. Like it just was never,
Yeah,
I was never exhaling all of my air. And so then the inhalation was very short. It's like,
yeah,
what am I
yeah.
doing wrong? How am I
Right.
failing breathing?
You're not failing. You're not failing. We're just all learning how to better pay attention to it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Do you have any exercises for us right now, or do you want to just end it there?
I mean, we could try breath with sound. We could try this ocean wave breath if you're willing to do that with me. And then
Yeah.
maybe we add some count to that so that we can try that kind of combination.
Perfect. Let's do that and then we'll end there.
Okay, so with this breath with sound, it's a way, one, to focus our attention on our breath, but the sound is also another thing that helps our brain focus. And so it's like a 2-for-1 when it comes to awareness and attention building. So I'm going to demonstrate the breath first, and then you and I can do it together. So breath with sound is a constriction in the back of your throat, that same constriction that you would have if you're fogging a mirror, like but you're going to do this with your mouth closed, and the mouth will be closed for the inhale and the exhale. So it sounds like this. And that was my breath in and my breath out. I hope my microphone picked it up.
Yeah, can you do it one more time a little bit closer to the microphone just to make sure
Yes.
everybody got that?
Yes. So here we go. Okay, I'm seeing you nod, so hopefully it came
Yes.
through. So this breath with sound, as I was saying, it's a way to draw an equal inhale and equal exhale, or maybe even a little bit longer on the exhale, like we were just talking about. So if you would, I think we're going to practice this together. I'll have you close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. I'm going to close mine too. And as we breathe in, I'd love for you to visualize a wave coming into shore. And as we exhale, that wave going out. So here we go. Big breath in. Here comes the wave. And send the wave out. And this time as you breathe in, maybe counting to 4 or 5. And sending the wave out to 5 or 6. And let's do one more round. And the wave goes out to 5 or 6 counts. All right. So one more thing, Ellie, if I can just share, when I'm keeping track of my counts, and for anyone who's only hearing this instead of seeing it, I'm holding my hand up now. So we're gonna finger tap those counts. That's super helpful for me, so that as my wave is coming in or as I'm counting the breath, I've got this little tap going of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the same to help it go out. Just another way to keep things at a pace that my mind doesn't speed up or make stressful, because that's really not the point.
Okay, perfect. And Amber, can you wrap up what should I be experiencing after these breaths? Like, I know I've done it right if I'm experiencing this.
Oh gosh, I would say you've done it right if you can breathe and it's not shallow, right? Like you've done it right if there's this sense of clearing out or clarity. For me, I know I've done it right because literally, like, there's this, it's not a cloud in my mind anymore. It does feel like I have this new expansive space that I'm working in. And that space could quickly get filled with something else, and I might find that I stress out a minute after I've done this practice, but I want to emphasize that the practice is the important part. So continuing to do it is the important part, and then it will become a part of your life that you're able to draw from and use in those moments when you're realizing, oh, I'm pretty overwhelmed right now. So hopefully you can come back to it again and again.
Yeah, and how long should we do this?
Yeah, so I would start small, especially if it's a brand new thing. If breath work or breath awareness is a new thing for you, start small, set a timer for 2 minutes and see if you're able to even stay for the 2 minutes, but find those small bite-sized chunks that you can actually get into.
Wonderful. I think we all have 2 minutes to kind of help us reduce the overwhelm, anxiety in our lives.
Yeah, I hope so. Or we'll get there.
Amber Kilpatrick, thank you so, so much for teaching us how to breathe. I think I want to have like this segment of like mindful breathing with Amber. We'll see how to make that happen.
Yeah,
but I really appreciate you.
I love it. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Ellie.
All right. Take care.